if our time is ours to waste, to leave behind a better place, then I need nothing more than life with you.
Players in the NBA, and we want to make sure it's clear this is for next year. So Kevin Durant is not on the list purposely because he's not anticipated to play next year. So for next season, the top 5 players in the sport, go.
Great clarification on that. Number 5 for me is Anthony Davis, freshly in Los Angeles. Best two-way big in the league, obviously explosive scorer, maybe arguably the best defensive player in the league. He was my choice for number 5.
There was a time not long ago when if the conversation was who would you start a team with of every player on the planet, he would have been number 1. He has fallen all the way on your list to number 5. Let's work our way through it. Who do you have at number 4? Best player in the NBA.
Well, to highlight that point, this is a hard list to make because there's a group of 5 or 6 guys at the top you could choose in any order. But number 4 for me is Steph Curry. I think to Jacoby's point, he could be the MVP of the league next year. He's going to come out and have a huge year, I think, offensively. He's going to have to for the Warriors to be good. That's why I've got Steph number 4.
He is definitely a unique weapon in NBA history. He does stuff we've never seen anybody do. He changes the game in a way that no one ever has. I said this to Jacoby earlier. I love the Steph Curry overrated or underrated debate because he's considered one of the great players in the league. Some people will tell you he's dramatically overrated. Some will tell you he's underrated.
And I'm with Jacoby. I think he's underrated because of the gravity he has on offense. He changes the way the court is structured and the way no one else does.
All right, who's number 3?
James Harden, the guy who has, only been in the top 2 in the MVP voting for the last 5 years, has been a similar offensive fulcrum for his team. And look, we keep talking about the Rockets this week as this team that's kind of forgotten about. If they just don't blow this team up, the Rockets could very easily be the team that, like the Raptors this year, finally breaks through and wins the title next year. I know you disagree.
It's not so much that I disagree. I just think there are 2 different ways to look at this. He's spectacular. If you just look at the numbers, if you wanted to put him at number 1, you could easily defend that argument. But if you look at the history in the postseason, and if you look at, forget about what I think, listen to what Kobe Bryant thinks, that playing that way, you can't win a championship. If you can't win based upon the way a player plays, then doesn't that in some way inform just how great a player he actually is?
You could also argue the last 2 years the Rockets only lost to the Warriors and lost in very close fashion, especially the year before when they lost in 7 games.
I know, this one felt different somehow with all the injuries. Okay, let's move on. Who's number 2?
Number 2 is Giannis Antetokounmpo, the reigning MVP of the league. Obviously, in the Eastern Conference Finals, you saw that his lack of a jump shot was a bit of an issue, but obviously he's growing every year. I think he could easily be the number 1 on this list for the next decade.
Speaking of which, I don't put it up yet because I haven't seen his list yet. And so I'm looking at this, and I can't help but notice that Kawhi's not on the list and LeBron's not on the list, which means one of them is not going to be in the top 5. Who do you have number 1?
I have Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, my goodness.
The reigning Finals MVP.
Oh, my
guy
goodness.
Who just ran through the entire league, did the unthinkable, and beat the Warriors.
Just stop.
Okay?
Just stop. We get it.
Sure.
I know how good Kawhi is.
Sure.
You don't have to justify that.
Sure.
You have named the top 5 players in the NBA going into next season, and LeBron James is not on the list?
We don't have a 6-person list.
You would put LeBron 6th.
LeBron is 6th. I think it's a 6-person tier. Here's LeBron.
I'm sorry, Tim. I felt the need to take this off the wall here in the studio.
I mean, he isn't
This
forgotten.
man averaged 27,
Farnham,
and 8.5, and 8, and shot 50% from the field.
Farnham, go stand right there.
And by the way, haven't you said that this is your favorite to win the NBA championship as the Lakers?
I have not said that. Go stand right there.
Yes.
Go stand right there.
Listen,
go stand right there, and then
No.
You put LeBron.
No.
I'm putting LeBron. I'm putting LeBron right here.
I can put him here.
Put him right here.
I can put him here. I can put him here. There's somewhere within here LeBron James has to be in. As long as he is playing basketball in the NBA and can impact the game in every way that LeBron James can, he has to be on the list.
There's nothing he cannot do on a basketball
So we're going to take
court.
LeBron, and we're going to
There's
put him over
nothing he
here.
can't do.
We're going to go 6th, and we're going to make the case for why. So
Okay, wait, then let me ask you this.
Let him talk. Let Bontemps make his argument.
It is my list, remember.
Correct.
It's my list.
That's fair.
So
Doesn't mean I
think
can't disagree with it.
all these guys are in a tier, I think, of their own. And I think Kevin Durant made it 7. And I honestly think you could put them in a lot of different ways.
Right.
I would put LeBron here for this reason. We talked earlier about the minutes he's played. We've talked about the miles he's logged. The fact is, LeBron at this point is not a guy who's impacting the game at the defensive end. He's basically a one-way player. He's also coming off a year when he played 55 games and had the first major injury of his career. So if you're looking at all these guys who are in the primes of their career, who all I think are bets to play more games, maybe not Kawhi, but Kawhi coming off these playoffs I think deserves to be where he is. to me, I think if you're going into next year, I think LeBron deserves to be right here, which again, he's the 6th best player in the league at age 35.
This is why he's going to move up, is people like you. He hears all of this. He hears all the chatter. He hears everyone discount him. He knows he missed the playoffs for the first time. He's going to have a career year this year.
You just talked about his impact at the defensive end. I'm good.
Hey.
It's hard days and it's hard months. Sometimes I don't know what to say. It's me all at once. My pride is getting in the way and I'm on the run. Scared that things are gonna change. What will I become? No, I can't take it sometimes. That's why I dive into rhymes. That's why we dive into lies. We digging deeper inside. We try to keep up with life. We hide our pain from the light.